Okay, this is today's project. We're making an illusion box. I initially started out painting these boxes black, but I wanted to personalize them. These are made for my wife's 3 grandchildren. And I changed my mind and wanted to paint them their favorite colors. And 2 of them I put on decals that I bought from Etsy for their favorite basketball team. Personalized one of them, and their favorite baseball team. These are on 12-inch dish stands, and I've got a headband right here stapled and holding it on, and then the power comes in up here, and it's tied down using some screws and some tie wraps. And so that's today's project, is making this illusion box. I'm going to do it in 2 stages of film. The first film that you'll see today is building the illusion box, the electronics and everything. And the second stage will be the electronics and the programming. In the description, you'll find below a link to all the bill of material, a link to the electronics schematic, and a sketch. So you can see that with the press of a button, this will change, and this is the 3rd mode, and it's their favorite color as a night light, so it's dimmed down. The 3rd stage, when you press the button, turns it off. So the first stage is their favorite color, full intensity. Then the second stage is a rainbow effect and kind of a test of all the different modes that the programmable LEDs can go through. So if you like this video, hit the like button and share the video, and subscribe to my project or my site, and you'll see future videos come up. So thank you, and enjoy the Arduino. Okay, now we got our table saw set up for the top and the bottom cut. We've got our rip fence set up here for 8 3/16, like it shows in the bill of material in the description below. And we've made a kerf cut on the edge here, and we've checked it for plumb and squareness. And we just slide it up against our rip fence with the board on it. You don't want to go directly on the rip fence because you can get kickback. So we're going to come off this board, and we're going to be free of the rip fence when we go through the blade. So we'll cut a couple pieces, one for top and one for bottom. Okay, now we're going to cut our 2 side pieces, and we've got the rip fence set up for 11 and 11/16 for the 2 side pieces. So I'll cut those 2. Okay, now we're going to start working with our 1/4-inch thick material. I've got my rip fence set up here, the 1/4-inch thick material. We're going to cut up the rip at about 2. And what does the bill of material say? The bill of material says 2 5/16. So I've got my rip fence set up for 2 5/16 of an inch. And I'll check again just to make sure. And yeah, it's set at 2 5/16. And so we'll rip this 1/4-inch material. Quarter-inch material ripped, and we're going to need another rip, and those are going to be 1 1/16 of an inch. So we're going to rip, set our rip fence for 1 1/16, and There's 1 1/16. And we'll rip that material for our borders. So now we've got our 1/4 inch material ripped, and now we'll set it up for the lengths that we need. Alright, so we got our rip fence set up now for our next piece of bill of material and the 1/4 inch material stuff. And that's 8 3/16 that we're going to be cutting this. I'm going to make a curve cut first to square up the end of this material and check it for plumb. And that is square and plumb. So now we'll make the cut of a couple of pieces, one for top, one for bottom, of 8 3/16. Okay, so now we're going to cut the 1/4 inch pieces that are a width of 2 5/16, and we're going to cut them to a length of 9 11/16. One for each of the sides of the box, and I've cut a curve cut off the end to square it up and make it plumb. And now I'm going to make the cuts at 9 11/16. Okay, now we're going to start working with our 1/4 inch by 1 1/16 inch material, and I want to cut 2 pieces that are 9 11/16 inches long. So I'm going to square it up, take a curve cut off the end, square it up. My rip fence should still be set up at 9 11/16. We'll make another measurement, and it is. So we'll cut 2 pieces, 9 11/16. So then out of the 1/4 inch by 1 1/16 material, I need 1 piece, 9 1/2. So I've got the rip fence set up here for 9 1/2 inches, and we'll make that cut. All right, I've got these glued up. I've got the 1/4 inch piece glued onto the 2 1/2 inch, 1 inch piece, and this is the bottom and the top, and the 1/4 inch material comes out to the very edge, and you got a reveal here of about 3 seconds on both sides to accept the glass. And then this is the right side and the left side, and I've got it glued on as well. And we just got a 1 inch reveal here because these two are going to go together like this and be glued and nailed in place. So I'm going to end up putting some 3/4 inch brads in here now that the glue is dried, so it doesn't move around. And once we get those brads in there, we'll go to the next step, which is gluing this frame together, all 4 pieces, and getting it square, and then nailing it together with some 1 1/4 inch nails. All right, so this is our frame, and we're going to put glue in each one of the joints, and then clamp it together, and let the glue dry for about an hour, and then we'll drive some 1 1/4 inch nails into the joints. So I'll just not at the same level. So we'll flip it over here. Get our tape measure out, and we'll measure from corner to corner and see how square we are. It's at 15 1/16. And on the other side, that's at 15 1/16. So we're pretty square. So we'll let that dry for an hour. Okay, so we've got it all glued together, and we put some wire nails, 2 wire nails in each corner, and it's all nice and square, and the glue is setting up, and we'll paint it next. And we got to drill a hole through the corner up here to accept the wire from the LED string, and we'll do that in the next step. What else you're going to need is you're going to need a mirror that measures 8 by 10 inches, and you can cut it yourself, or like I did here, or you can go out and buy an 8 by 10 mirror. And you're going to need a piece of glass. You can pick this up as an 8 by 10 out of an old frame, or just buy it at Home Depot or Lowe's or something. So you're going to need that, and then you're going to need some. Go to an auto dealer or an auto parts shop and buy yourself some window tinting, and it comes in like 15%, 20%, and 30%. I bought the 20%. It seems to work really well for making. So now we're going to paint these parts. We've got the border parts. We got one part that we haven't defined yet, but we're going to do that when we get the rest of the parts in. I've drilled a 1/2 inch diameter hole right along the edge, so it comes out right on the corner down here. That'll pass the connector for our LED strip through that. So we'll paint these parts and go from there. Okay, we're going to start the assembly. So you've got your tinted glass. The tint side here is going to go down. We've got the unit here, and it's got the hole in the top on the left hand side. Got it propped up on a couple of boards here, because I'm going to clamp this in place. So you want to put this in. You want to make sure you've cleaned it. Put that in there, and prop it up on both sides. And then you want to take a frame here, and it's going to be 9 11/16. And lay that on the bottom. All right, now we've got our LED strip here, and we're going to put the end of it, connector, through the hole, and then we're going to route it and tape it down on the inside, being in the center here all the way around. And we'll cut off the last LED here, and you cut them off right here. I don't know if you can see this or not. There's a cut line between the 5 volt, the D in, the D out, and the ground. You just cut right between those. You want to make sure you get the right end out. They both have connectors on the end, the output and the input. You want the input end, so you'll see a D out and a D in, and that's the input, the D out. connector. So we're going to put that through here and remove the double back tape, and we'll connect that or tape that up on the inside here all the way around. I'll show you what that looks like when we're done here. So now we've got them all taped in place with the double back tape, and right in the middle all the way around, if you can see that, and you count the number of LEDs that you have, and you should end up with about 53 LEDs. You're going to want to remember that number of LEDs you have because it comes out handy in the programming. So now we're going to install our back mirror, and for the backing I just used a file folder and cut it down to size, tracing around the back. So you clean up your mirror and you turn it mirror side in, obviously, and place it in there, and then lay your backing on, get a position in place, and I'm going to run some 3/8 inch staples . And there we have our box. I can do some trimming with a razor blade around the edges here to get rid of the rest of that backing. So that's our box that we've got, and we'll go on to making the electronics for it. So we've got the container here, and I've drilled a hole in the top for the push button and 2 holes to accept the leads of the LED, and I've got a large hole in the side here that I've milled to accept the USB cable from the micro board. And here's the breadboard, double back taped to the lid of this unit, and it's right down in the corner, and it just goes together like this. And we've got the box for it, and then over here we've got the final assembly, which we've got a piece of 1/4 inch up here on the top, and we've got it nailed to that with a couple of brads. And what we're going to do is we're going to epoxy this box to the back of this, and that's where it'll sit. So we'll do that next. So here we're ripping a board that's 1/4 inch by 4.5 and 9 3/4, and we'll use that for the top part to hide the electrical box. And we'll paint that black as well. So we've wired the everything up inside the box here, and it's got the LED on it and the push button, and the wires are coming out for the tab, or for the LED strip. And so we're going to epoxy this now onto the back of this board and let that dry, and then we'll power it up and test it out. So here we've soldered the plus and minus wires to a 1000 microfarad capacitor and connected it to our power end here, paying particular attention to the plus and minus signs on there. And then the data line comes out and goes to our data input of the strip, which is the center pin, the green wire. So that's our electrical hookup on the outside here. Okay, now we're going to put the decal on. I've got the decal centered in the middle of this just by measuring it. And we're going to do the hinge method. You just take some masking tape and tear it off. Connect it to one side of your decal. And then put a couple extra strips of masking tape on to hold it in place. And this is called the hinge method because you just hinge it back and get a hold of the backing. It can be kind of hard to get it started, and just pull it off, pull the backing off like that, and then just lay it back down. And easy as that. So, if you liked this video, hit the like button and share this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you will get notification of new videos. Enjoy the Arduino.